Hey, my name is Chris Acton with Acting Creative, and this is a handwoven experience. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about design in weaving. Specifically, I've got rhythm. So let me set the scene for you. You see, weavers are making fabric. That is the bottom line. And it's very easy for us to get caught up in all of the little micro details that go into making sure we have a functional piece of fabric when we are done. Awesome. That is all very valuable. However, I want to remind us not to get lost in all those technical elements and actually think about the art we are creating. Whether you call yourself an artist or not, that doesn't matter. We are actually creating something beautiful and interesting, and that is worth giving a little thought to. So I love this idea of having a design and weaving series where we can tackle different design ideas so that we're not just looking at it as fabric, we're looking at it as something that is really interesting and creative and artistic. So in today's episode, I am tackling the topic of rhythm. Now, rhythm is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. You think of music when you think of rhythm, right? I was a music major in college, ironically enough, so I have always loved the idea of different rhythms, especially when it comes to weaving. I know that sounds a little bizarre, but bear with me here. I think that as weavers, we have such a kind of mathematical, orderly way that we approach our projects. It lines up so well with the idea of music. So, for today's topic, I would like you to consider that you can add rhythm to your pieces of handwoven art. So let me give you some ideas of what I'm talking about here. Now, when you think of rhythm, you could have like a steady beat, right? Like a 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Just something steady. Yep. Well, imagine in your work if you have like equally spaced stripes, or you're changing colors, or you're changing textures. There's some element in your weaving that is just evenly spaced, right? Here is my example here. Look at this is a new little pillow I made, right? Got two, 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 right? Evenly spaced. Here's the rhythm. Nice and solid, right? We're just clicking along. Yeah? Nice, evenly spaced. We love that. This is a great one to start with too, because you kind of set the scene and you just go. Okay, next, let's talk about kind of an alternating kind of rhythm, right? What if you have maybe two components that are slightly different, but you're bringing them in a regular kind of cadence? Think about that kind of rhythm, like do, 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 right? Something like that, where you've got a long and a couple shorts, right? That kind of alternating rhythm. Let me show you kind of how that would look visually, some things you could play with. Look at this guy. So I clearly have kind of a long part, and then I've got a short one. Long, short, long, short. Yeah, so it's just, you just repeat that over and over again. But look how interesting the fabric becomes then when you have this kind of rhythm to the actual piece, whether it's, like I said, color, texture, whatever it could be, size of the yarn. You can use all kinds of elements to create a certain kind of alternating rhythm. I've got another example for us here too. I just thought this one was really pretty. So check out this guy here. Look at this. Same kind of idea. Clearly I like this kind of fat, skinny. Clearly I like that, right? But look at the kind of rhythm of this. Now, imagine if it was all solid. It's gonna have a very different look to it. But your eye then appreciates this kind of steady, the way things are broken up into a whole variety of pieces. Yeah? We like that. Okay, so the last kind of rhythm I want to suggest for us is something like a increasing or decreasing. Imagine if you're listening to a song, it starts out kind of slow, then it gets faster, right? It's exciting. Or vice versa, if it's really clipping along and then it just kind of eases down. Love that, right? Imagine how you can incorporate that into your weaving work. Okay, so here's my example here. You have to keep a little more track of where you are with this. But look at this. I started out kind of small stripes. I was like, what if we actually leaned into it, had bigger stripes as we went? look at how this adds a certain kind of interest to the fabric. Now, in a lot of these examples, I have just changed colors to create that kind of rhythm. But keep in mind, you have a lot of things in your toolbox that you can play with to create rhythm in your work. That's fun too. I don't know if you can see the back, but I did. Yeah, there we go. I went a little crazy and I went slower and then I went faster from there. Fun, right? But imagine all the possibilities when you take a minute to focus on what is the rhythm of my piece. And I don't want that to sound any kind of woo-woo, but I want you to consider the design part of it, because boy, even if you just did a little study on rhythm for the next 3 or 4 pieces, the doors will open, friends. You will have so many creative ideas. It'll just be, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what you can do with rhythm as the topic for design in your hand-woven pieces. So let me know in the comments, do you think about rhythm already? Is it something that you like to play with in your work? Or are you excited to give it a try, to be like, okay, what's the rhythm of my piece? Yeah. I think it will just push us to be better designers and therefore make more interesting work, which I think that's always a valuable goal. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, there is another one prior to this one all about leaning into the odds. Yes, I love this topic, design in weaving, and there's going to be others to come, so you just hang on. All right, friends, let's get into some rhythm, shall we? Have a great week. Happy weaving.